So I know I've been gone for a while, and you may notice by the title and the thumbnail that this is not an infamous video. No, that is not Solid Snake. I have an update section at the end of this video where I'll explain like all that and stuff like that. Right now, I gotta fulfill an obligation from months ago. If you've been following the channel all year, you'll know I covered every single Arkham game, but at some point in one of the Arkham Knight videos, I said I'd spin back to cover the remaining Arkham DLCs at the end of the year. It is now the end of the year. So today we're going to start with Arkham Batman's first squabble with Mr. Freeze in the Arkham Origins DLC, Cold Heart. The story starts with Bruce and Alfred hosting a New Year's Eve party / charity event for Gotham. This takes place like a week after Arkham Origins. This guy up here who's talking, you know what I'm saying, he's very important, very high status. He's Gotham's new heartthrob, their golden boy. Now, what I want you to do next is picture what Bruce Wayne looks like in your head. Just close your eyes and get a good picture of him in there right now. His eyes, his forehead, hair, aura, all of that, right? Yeah, I'm gonna just let you get a second to do that, right? Now, take a look at him. What is going on with his face? That brother has been mewing since Christmas. Chin strong as hell. It is so distracting. Like, look at every single angle of his face. The artist literally made the most genetically perfect face ever and thought we wouldn't notice. And then if you remember, this game and Arkham Knight were being made side by side. Compare the faces right now, gang. There was zero communication going on in there. So Bruce and Alfred are now gassing up the guy up there. Ferris is his name. He comes over to them and thanks Bruce for his support on his campaign or something like that. I think he's running for mayor or he's inventing something. I don't really know. And I don't really care. But Alfred tells bro to get back on stage and accept his award. Now there's this baddie on stage, right? And she's introducing Ferris, saying that the party is really about to start. But then she starts shivering and ice is creeping in the background. She's like, man, Bruce, you forget to pay your heating bill or something? The room fills with ice and men pouring in droves, lighting the place up. This is a stick up, put the money in the bag. Then Freeze himself walks in, and it's not 3 seconds before he commits a terror. He sees this random guy who could have a wife and kids waiting for him at home.
I like it, cut G.
And he makes sure to perfectly aim his gun at the ground so that he can freeze him from the ground up. Then he has the audacity, the gumption, to say, bring him Ferris Boyle. It's giving now talk. Maybe that guy could have pointed out Ferris if you didn't freeze his entire molecular array. Bruce sees all this happening and does what every billionaire would do in this situation. Head to the panic room and don't tell anybody. Nobody's invited. And he's calling Alfred too, but Alfred is already gone. Bro is more billionaire than Bruce. Come on now, Bruce. I've counted far worse. So the thugs have apparently entered the mansion from all over, not just that one area we just saw. Bruce is by the barrel, so he can do nothing but retain his mewing streak. Alfred is over there getting terrorized. This is who you keep telling me beats Superman. The thug holding out Bruce makes the grave mistake of not committing a homicide and pays for it dearly. So Bruce helps Alfred up. Alfred is trying to tell us that these are Penguin's men and things like that. I just cannot not notice Bruce's face like hell. Then look how the scene ends. It's just this really weird cut and angle. I can't. Basically, Alfred says, Bruce, the closest passage to the Batcave is through the library, through the basement and all that. In the meantime, Alfred will hide out in this room with the rest of the runners. I guess they're just gonna hope that nobody else comes into this room. Vicky Vale is in there too. Whenever the writers get tired of Catwoman, whenever writers get tired of Catwoman, Talia, the occasional Harley romance, boom, Vicky. She's yapping, but I just cannot focus because he's literally doing the meme. And as we leave, you can hear one of the NPCs saying, ooh, what's he gonna do? Pay them to leave? Well, that sounds like a great idea. Who the hell gets passive aggressive over someone trying to save your life? That's like being in a burning building and you see Superman opening a window to save you and you say, what are you gonna do? Fly me to street level? So we sneak through the library, into the cellar, and finally the Batcave. We hit an elevator, and while we wait going down, Alfred calls in and says he heard the Penguin thugs calling the ice cream man Mr. Freeze. I already knew what his name was, but they didn't know that. This is their first time. Alfred highly suggests that Bruce breaks out his new experimental outfit. No, Alfred. My parents. I could never dishonor their names by fighting with buffs and booms. And I haven't finished building it yet, so you know how that goes. So we're gonna wear the regular smuggler. Despite the DLC cover on the box clearly advertising a big Hulk Buster type suit, what I'm saying is I've been scammed, misled, had. So I make my way back to the manor after getting lost in the cave for 6 minutes. I get to another elevator, I think. The power goes out for a minute though, so Bruce calls Alfred because this simply will not do. Alfred then says they are now setting the mansion on fire. Is the DLC ice or fire based? Pick one, gang. You can't have both. They're here for the Ferris guy, right? What if they burn the building down and and like a piece of wood falls and bonks him on the head. Then what? They didn't even try to look for him. It's been 5 minutes. Then we hear Alfred getting kidnapped, and I can't do anything about it because I'm trapped in this room now, because I completely forgot that in this game, Batman has these shock gloves on him that you have to use to power open doors and stuff sometimes. So only then can I make it to the actual mansion. Yeah, this hoe is ablaze. And these shock gloves are amazing. It's a shame they never made a DLC suit with them in Arkham Knight. But I find the room where Alfred was taken to. I get the thugs out of here one by one, save Alfred, and he's like, oh my heavens, it's Batman. You must move the crest from the doors so we can escape. I'm thinking, damn, that thing is pretty big. We're gonna have to make some sort of backlog police. He throws it out of the way. We get inside the quote-unquote safe room, and that lady that was on stage earlier, she survived this. I don't know how, but she hears Freeze and his men outside with that one guy whose name I can't remember. They're here for him, right? Starts with an F. I know the name. I just can't recall it this very second. I'm gonna talk to Alfred though, because I actually care about him. And this conversation is so painful. They're trying to hide the fact that they know each other, and it's just, I can't believe that nobody's picking up on this. Hello there, Alfred. I mean civilian. Then Vicky, the reporter, is like, Batman, you have to do an interview with me, please. But he's like, no, like I have to fight supervillains. What are you talking about? But the people gotta know what you're about, Batman. People in Gotham gotta know that Batman is a superhero by now, right? We stop a prison riot, fight off like 7 or 8 assassins, stopped one of them from blowing up a bridge, locked up an anarchist clown. I think they get the picture. So I go out to find Freeze and Ferris. Yeah, that's him. That's his name. I knew it. Ferris is looking like, oh geez, Batman, I've heard of you. You're that cosplayer guy that sends 1,000 men to the hospital on Christmas Eve. Then Freeze pops the corner and blasts Batman with an ice ray. Now we're stuck in ice, and Freeze has the audacity to say to Batman, I have no beef with you. Well, now you do, like, though. Then he takes Ferdinand and leaves me with the henchman. With all of his aura, Batman breaks free of the ice. The rest are light work, none I haven't seen before. But we can't catch up to Freeze because bro's over here blasting the door of ice and runs down the hall. By the time that we get to the hall, Freeze has fled with Felix, and he leaves behind a new enemy type. They have ice guns so they can freeze you in place. It's annoying as hell. The fight leads to an interrogation, and Batman is like, where are they? The thug guy says he doesn't know where Freeze is going, but he, the thug, says that he was supposed to meet a guy in North Gotham. So Batman is like, okay, I can work with that. So Batman calls the Batjet, and we hit the mean skies of Gotham City in search of a gun merchant. It's just a goose chase around the city until we find Freeze and Penguin raiding this lab with that one guy, Farkas. We can't get through the door that they just went through though, because that would make the DLC too short. Now I gotta save a guard and hope that he has the codes to the door, and he's like, no, I don't have the codes, Batman, but my boss in the other lab. Oh, hell no, man. So I go to another lab. Hold on, bro. Like, what are you doing, bro? I didn't even hit him that hard. Stop. Bro, I get to the other lab, take out the riffraff, talk to the guard, ask for the codes. He says, yes, sir, they're right here. You know, usually when a door needs a code, we just hack through it, but okay. So I get to the entrance, but there's mad ice around here, and we're gonna have to fight Freeze eventually. So Bruce calls Alfred to see how that suit is coming along. I need that. No. And Alfred's like, yes, sir, right away, Master Bruce is almost ready. That's why Alfred is on the payroll, butler, and engineer. I found these gloves and mask on the ground. Is this a reference to the Ratcatcher? Here come the comments. Actually, this is a reference to the Microbe, a one-off villain from 1966 when Batman shot out. We find the lab where Penguin and Freeze went. I guess they're ops now because now Freeze is pinned down by snipers. I'm sure he can just freeze them when they go to reload, but okay. Yeah, shoot at him. I wouldn't do that. Penguin took Ferris, and Freeze wants him back, but Penguin must have caught a glimpse of some tech down there that he wants, and now it's just a mess. Even more now because Batman jumps the snipers, distracting Penguin and his goons. Then Freeze one-shots all of them because he's Mr. Freeze. I don't know why they were playing around with him with regular guns. But even though he's frozen, Penguin is still shooting his gun. No, I haven't seen the Penguin show yet because so many YouTube videos with titles and thumbnails spoiled it for me, so it's like, do I really even have to anymore? Penguin shoots a titanium pipe and it falls, nearly crushing Batman, but he evades easily because he's Batman. Then Freeze yanks Ferris out of the ice. Have you ever licked an icicle before? Like, that hurts like hell if you get stuck. The movie was not lying, it hurts. And Ferris over here is getting the full body wax. Batman tells Freeze to let him go, but Freeze says, nah, I'd freeze, and blocks off the whole bridge to the final area. So Batman starts pressing Penguin, who really has no choice but to help Batman. Bro shouldn't even be alive right now. Frostbite and hypothermia just don't exist in video games, do they? He says we can get an ice drill from one of his men at a bar because he just has that laying around, I guess. Okay, like, what am I gonna say, bro? No. So we head back out to the city, and Batman calls Alfred and says, I need that suit right now, Alfred, please. Alfred says, cool, it's done, I'll ship it to the bar. And you know what that means. New suit animation. And Batman is gonna lie directly to my face and says, the honeycomb structure of the suit helps to increase weather resistance without adding weight. Brother, All these plates, gears, and knickknacks. If it really didn't increase weight, you'd wear it all the time. You don't have to lie. The suit also replaces the shock gloves with fire gloves so you can melt ice and free people that have been frozen. But the next part of the story has us running up and down Gotham collecting the pieces of a broken drill so we can get past this wall of ice. Does that sound fun? No. Because it isn't. It's a rule of 3 fetch quest and it ruins a new suit for me. If you're wondering why it took me till December to get back to these DLCs, this is why. Because the bulk of them is just filler. So I'm gonna just skip to the good part. Give me the freeze. So remember when I said that Ferris guy was Gotham's new hope? Well, he's not. You probably heard the story a million times, a bunch of different ways, but this guy is responsible for Arkham Freeze becoming Freeze. Now Freeze wants revenge and a cure for his wife Nora, who is cryogenically frozen until Freeze can save her, which he doesn't. There's a lot more to it, but you get the picture. So I get the drill all reassembled and put a hole in that ice. Penguin's looking like, okay, my turn. You're gonna free me now,
You're good right where you are.
Origin Batman hates Penguin. He hates him. We finally get to Freeze, and Batman knows Freeze won't hesitate to shoot, so he knocks a great cover to the ground, and Freeze gets on that instantly, giving Batman enough time to talk respectfully. He says, "Freeze, I understand your anger, but this is not the Miyagi-Do way. Quinn did not die for this." Batman says we can put Boyle in the asylum and find a cure for his wife, but Freeze is consumed with revenge, and we need a boss fight. This fight blows. The first part has you disabling 3 cryo containers, and it takes forever. You gotta make sure to lure Freeze from one side of the platform to another one so it doesn't disrupt you while you sit here and wait for this bar to fill up. It's not hard, it's not horrible or anything, but if I had a skip button, I would be hitting that thing harder than Ben 10 hits the Omnitrix, and he wonders why it keeps breaking. And the next phase of the fight is literally just the Arkham City Freeze fight again, except this time it's kinda worse. This time, there's goons around, and that's never fun. They don't make the fight harder, they just ruin what should be an epic one-on-one. Like, you would think that the massive guy with the freeze ray and Batman in this big bulky heater armor would be enough. But no, we gotta get some regulars in there too. Then you have to sneak up on Freeze in a bunch of ways, catch him lagging. What I really think makes this fight worse though is how big the area is, because Freeze moves so slow because look at what he's wearing, bro. The lab in Arkham City was small, really contained, and you could lure Freeze into position like really easily. But now I am waiting so long for him to get into position. I was here for so long that one time I gave up and just watched a video, burning time until he would come my way. The only saving grace for this fight is that Freeze doesn't adapt to each attack like last time, so to save time you can use the same moves on him over and over. But the fight ends with Batman being Batman. Bro gets on the Freeze, heats up the floor, and tears him through it. Then he picks Freeze up, armor and all. Remember, this suit Batman has on is lightweight apparently. It shouldn't be giving him extra strength. But somehow he launches Freeze to the wall and dashes to his limp body with a charged heater punch right to the forehead. Then, what the hell is his name? Listen, bro over here turns comically evil and freezes Batman. Then he starts giving this long villainous speech, but I don't care. I don't. Batman breaks out of the ice like I haven't been breaking out of ice for the entire DLC. He saw it, and Batman starts beating the hell out of him. Then he stops Nora's pod from heating up and gives Freeze some ice cubes to power his suit. And that's the end. So remember when, spoiler alert, Joker died at the end of Arkham City? Yeah, Harley is real mad about that. So mad she went goth. Yeah! But if you remember way back in February, I said I had the footage for this DLC and I just never made the video. That's because it's so short that I never really knew what to do with it. But I haven't replayed it or recorded it yet, so let me go ahead and do that before I say anything about it. Okay, I'm gonna be 100% honest with you right now. I don't think I like this DLC that much. Don't get me wrong though. I love the cutscenes and the additions to the story. It's just that the stuff that they have you doing in this DLC makes me go, this DLC could have been a cool 20 to 30 minutes and I would have been fine with that. But no, they drag it out for no reason. So the DLC doesn't start with, man, no. Ben. Bro's in Arkham City looking for Batman who's gone off the grid. This story happens about probably a month after Arkham City, so everything is quiet in Arkham City with no major villains to start trouble, except Harley. She has kidnapped a bunch of officers and holding them hostage. Gordon is outside the city stressed as hell, and Batman went back into Arkham City and he hasn't been seen since. Robin has Oracle aka Batgirl aka Barbara Gordon on the other line feeding him the information. So he's like, bet, I'ma find him. Brother isn't in the city for 5 minutes before he finds Harley with her hostages crying over the Joker, glazed He's in hard as hell. Even in death, glaze. Oh, Joker was the greatest villain ever. Whatever am I gonna do without him? He always knew what to do. I'm so sad and angry and goth. I could change her. So Barbara's like, you gotta get down there. Robin's like, I gotta get down there. She's tweaking, clearly. I got a question. Why doesn't Batman have this zip technology? I respect the zip line, the pulley thing, but if we can just get to the chase like this, I would much prefer it. And oh my, did you hear that Rocksteady is making a new Batman game? Honestly, I'm really not that excited. All the people that made the Arkham games left Rocksteady. A lot of people probably don't know that. I only know that because I spent 6 months making Arkham videos, so yeah. If the devs can just look at these games and do this again but a little bit better, we'll be fine. So eventually we find Batman's belt. Robin picks it up and all of a sudden the game flashes back 2 days ago. So Batman has been missing for 2 whole days. Did Alfred not tell anybody that Master Bruce has been missing? This is what I was talking about in the Arkham Knight videos. He pushes everybody away so much that when he goes missing, everybody's like, nah, he'll be fine. He's not fine. He's not. But him and Gordon are out here talking about the hostages. Harley's gone crazy, Batman. She's been glazing Joker for a week straight. Please save my man. So Batman flies in there. We make it to the main building, the area where we first found sick Joker. We look outside the room and see this guard hanging from a crane. There's thugs beneath him and they think this is the funniest thing ever. Bro's up there like, guys, come on, let me down. So I beat them up and talk to the guard. And here is where I start to hate this DLC. Because Bro says, oh my god, Batman, Harley Quinn is up to no good, Phantom Tax Ohio Rizzler. But to get to her, you're gonna need those skibbity codes to unlock the door to Harley's Sigma compound. So instead of continuing with the DLC, I have to go back outside and find 3 thugs with the codes to Harley's door. They are clearly just padding the DLC the runtime. Just make the DLC short, I don't care. Like if you played the main game, you've been up and down this map 100 times, especially if you were going after achievements and 100%. But okay, I'll leave and come back like 20 minutes later hoping I get to see the good stuff, the new stuff. Oh wait, there's a choke right there, I see it. I get in the building, save one of Gordon's officers, but Harley walks into the room with a group of thugs. Why are they listening to her? I know I asked this in like every single video, bro. I'm just being real because like I know she's not paying them. Harley goes to shoot the guy, but Batman jumps in front of him. He's knocked out. Batman gets knocked out a lot in these games. Like every single time somebody presses him in a cutscene, he falls over, he folds. But she walks off. Batman's belt tases a thug, and that's why he's just laying there because they can't pick it up. They take Batman, and boom, back to Robin. Barbara asks Ben if he found Batman, and he says, kinda. She says, what does that mean? It means almost. Damn, let me figure it out. I love this shield bash thing that Robin has. We find Harley in one area with all the hostages. This is her boss fight, basically. You can beat her really easily. Like really easy. It's not even a fight if I'm being honest. These Arkham games just never do it for me when it comes to the boss fights. I think it's just the way that the games are fundamentally made in the engine that it just doesn't do well with the boss fights. I don't know. With Harley down, I guess we're good. Oh, I forgot to mention. Before this, we find Batman locked in a glass ball. He's in there meditating to conserve the limited air that he has. It's really got me wondering if Harley wanted to suffocate him or if she didn't account for the air in there. That sounds like something Arkham Harley would do. Robin grabs Harley and says, give me the key to the ball. And she's like, ha, you'll never find it. Oh, I wonder where it could be. Yoink. That's the oldest trick in the book. She thought she was cooking right there. Then she says, let me go. Terrible choice of words. So I take the key to free man. So I take the key to free man. The robot thing throws him down and he breaks free. Do we get a thank you for our efforts? No, just a what took you so long? But Harley somehow got free and she says she has bombs and hostages. How? Batman sends Robin to get the hostages while we handle the bombs. Yes, through a rule of 3, you have to find them with the radio thing that I still hate a year later. Skip. We get back to the main room where Harley has mastered the intricacies of Terminator cybernetics and is all too happy to send her creations to end Batman. Now she says, well, Batman, it's just you, me, and this bomb. They're gonna see this explosion from the Wayne Tower, but we can't have that. Batman takes the detonator to stop the bomb, but it's gonna blow regardless. Then Batman waits for the timer to hit 0 so he can make this epic escape at the last minute. As he gets up, he remembers that Robin was in there and is like, what have you done? Harley responds with, ha, now you know how it feels. I think he already knew how it felt when you kidnapped his son and beat him with a crowbar for a year. It's lines like that that make me realize how forced into the story Jason was in Arkham Knight. Like, how did she forget this? Then Harley breaks out the knife and goes for the old sneak attack on Batman. Ben is alive, Harley's down, and Batman, after learning that his son is alive after thinking that he was just 1 for 3, is like, well, I'm done, see you home. But what happened to all those thugs that Robin beat up in that one room? Are they good or is it just, okay, yeah. So about where I was for about 3 weeks, maybe a month whenever this video drops, I had suspicions that I was getting burned out from making videos, but I was always like, nah. thug it out. I'll be fine. But sometime in November, I crashed hard. And if you really look at the channel from August to November, it's like, yeah, bro, of course. The Walking Dead Season 2, Part 1 and 2, those were dropped within like weeks of each other, right? And then between that, I made like a small video, then immediately hopped into 2 smaller videos, then back to MK1, then Until Dawn, which both of those videos are an hour long too, bro. It's been crazy. And now it's the holiday season and there's like a million other things for me to do and fit YouTube videos in there. It was a recipe for disaster, bro. I was working on the Infamous video one day and out of nowhere my brain just breaks and I just did not want to work on that video anymore. I was damn near ready to flip the desk. So I was like, okay, cool, maybe tomorrow. Nah, for like 2 weeks straight, just looking at my computer would send me into a coma. And that's just how it was for a little bit, bro. I don't know. Now, as far as the Infamous video goes, I did finish the voiceover before I went hollow, but I'm not sure if I liked the video. I re-recorded it like 3 times, bro. Fully, start to finish. I haven't done that since like the Spider-Man 2 video. I could just edit the video together and send it out there, but man, bro, I love Infamous. I can't not make a good video for Infamous, if you know what I'm saying. So for now, I think I'm just gonna focus on Chaos Reigns and The Walking Dead Season 3. For Infamous, I might have to rewrite the entire thing. I'm sorry to everybody that wanted to see that, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know what to do right now with it. I'm not even sure if I'm fine, like if I'm good right now, but that's just how it be, bro. I don't know. I appreciate the now 67,000 of you that come to watch the videos. It's been a long, wacky, crazy year, bro. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here.